What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is the Rapl. His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Ulysses the Great. That's what he's known as. Isis versus Loki on Oasis. This is exciting. We don't get to see this matchup very often, and this is one of the very, very spicy matchups that you can possibly have in this game, because Loki counters everything that Isis can do, and Isis counters everything that Loki can do in a lot of different ways. So obviously the Ancestors Eclipse of the Isis gets countered hard by Hersa, and then the Funeral Rites gets counters the Myth units very hard, and also the Mummy counters the Myth units very hard of the Loki. So you have to find a different way here to kind of make your way through this game in a good fashion. All right, so we'll see what it's going to do. We do see Rapl obviously not viewing the recent Loki meta videos on YouTube. If you are unaware that Loki and Norse have got a new idea for the start of the game, and it saves this ox cart from being built, giving you just a little bit extra resource, a little bit stronger early game. You should be chopping this wood down straight away, because it's not going to slow you. It's not going to hurt you in any way, which way, shape, or form. You can get dwarves out. You can go up at the same time. You just get more resources. It's just better in every way. We've got the food over here as well. So we'll see how it's going to go as we can see Rapl finding the priest. It's super sad seeing this one here as an Egyptian player. I just want to scout with my priest. Just let me scout, and you're not going to let me. And the priest goes home and cries to Isis and says, "Why did you forsake me? The Viking assaulted me in the evening while I was just trying to gather information for you, and you just said nope, not helping you at all." And Ulysses, very sad. Rapl, very, very happy. So dwarves coming out here. Villagers making their way over onto this food over here. No real problem where that is concerned. And I guess we'll see how this game's going to go for Rapl. So when it comes down to it, what can Loki really do in this matchup? On this map, you've shorted yourself food because you're on Oasis. But you get all of these herdables. So everything that's going to come out here, it's going to be that little bit slower. So, and then you also don't have infinite food like on, say, Marsh. So you can't just do crazy builds and just be reckless with your units. You have to be very, very strategic and well thought out about what you want to try and do here. So one thing that you really want to be aware of on with civilizations that require high food, so Loki is one of them, for example. Fuji is another one, and potentially like the other Chinese gods that need to build like full heavy food armies, is the market. Now, buying food might seem dumb, but it's actually incredibly smart, because not only does gold gather faster than food, so you can buy food for actually a profit, even though if you look at what it starts at here, starts at 70 food per 100 gold. I believe the gold gathers roughly 20% faster. So you're only losing a little bit of resources on that one, but you just have so much more gold. And you also get the dwarves that gather even faster. So making sure you buy food here, it can be very, very smart here. For both civilizations, actually, Isis might want to consider buying food to build villages in the mid game as an idea, especially with prosperity as well to boot. So we'll see what's going to happen. These giraffe finishing up. Ulysses going up through bars. No real surprises there. Temple up. Houses up as well. Tower in a very, very bad place here. Ulysses essentially has to build some axemen here in this game. Otherwise, the Ursa will come in and get free favor and potentially kill this temple as well. So we'll see how that's all going to go in this game as Rapl. Oh, he's going Heimdall against Isis. This guy's crazy. You get no value out of Heimdall unless it's a completely fake Heimdall rush into some sort of fast heroic through Njord. I don't see it. Well, maybe it could work, because you could go into Huskal. We'll see. Right now, Rapl sitting on his base with 2 Herso walls coming up over here. Wood income. He's got 5 villagers on the wood. This is looking... I have no idea what Rapl is planning here. But it's not mass Herso. That is for sure. And here's the thing, like, Heimdall has got... Heimdall is multi-purpose. So first good thing about Heimdall is Undermine can come in and kill your opponent's base. Very good for rushes. Second purpose of Undermine is to deny an Amygdal. So if you've got, say, a spy on your opponent's Pharaoh, you can mix Undermine with the spy. The Pharaoh will 100% of the time, every time, be on the Migdol when it's empowering it, and then you can undermine it at about, I don't know, 500 HP up, and it's going to get picked off, and your opponent's not going to be able to finish that Migdol, and you can put some pressure on over in that position. So see the armory coming up here for Ulysses. So that's that first part of Heimdall, which is really, really good outside of rushing. The second part of Heimdall, which is really, really good outside of rushing, is this technology here, Safeguard. Making your towers 25% cheaper, plus your walls and tower hit points going up, makes the late game of Loki and Odin with Heimdall just that little bit stronger. As we see a Sphinx coming in, harassing the Ulfsark, retreating back to his home base. And having that little bit stronger towers can be the difference a lot of the time. So we will see how Rapl is going to use Heimdall and if he's going to have any luck. Now, maybe this was taken into account because he's got Blanket of Empress Zoe here as well. Hasn't picked it up, but this relic here also gives an extra 5% building crush vulnerability. So if he gets Safeguard plus this, then his towers are even stronger. And he's also got the Eye of Horus here. So getting an extra 2 population on each of the town centers levels that the playing field of the late game, such that you're only 2 population behind. Wait, 3 population behind your opponent instead of 9 population behind your opponent in the Isis versus Loki matchup. And we see more Herso coming out of here. Armory going to be getting built. Herso retreating back. Ulysses getting close to his age up. It's completely fine to advance. 8:30, even 9 minutes here with Isis. If your plan is to just be defensive in this game, which is looking like is Ulysses' plan. Gets a couple of axemen out. Just going to finish up on these herdables. He should be kind of aware that he can move on to this gold mine, but we'll see. Rapl here, still not able to advance. House is off in the corner of the map for no real reason. A bit funky like. Wall's going to be getting up. I don't particularly like these walls. I would prefer to see a wall here, and a wall here, and a wall here, so that this gold mine is a little bit safer. Right now, this gold mine can be chariot archers attacked, which could be annoying. But Ulysses going Nephthys, no Hathor shenanigans here. Wants to get his ancestors to cliffs. Makes perfect sense. And here's still one town center. We see the weirdest monument to the soldiers you've ever seen here, potentially. The idea is to get a Migdol over here, but the Herso will simply just walk in and deny that. He wants to not get undermined, I guess. And the monument to the soldiers does get denied. The axemen come through. The villager gets pulled back. Ulysses has lots of resources in the bank right now. As Rapl, he's going Bragi. He's going Bragi, not Njord. Bragi does give him, like, there are some late game benefits to Bragi, especially like if you go Bragi tier as well. You can get Berserker Gang, you can get Swine Array, and Call of Valhalla. More importantly, Berserker Gang, Call of Valhalla stacking together is a ton of resources, a ton of extra resource. A ton of extra HP on those Ulfsark, and they can go up. They can be very, very strong. They start at only 80 hit points, but once you get Call of Valhalla plus 20% hit points plus Berserker Gang plus 20%, it's extra 40% hit points. You're looking at like 32 extra HP on each Ulfsark plus Champion, which is, I can't do that math. It's a lot of HP. So you can just get you can make those Ulfsark very similar to hoplites in the late game. Obviously, Axemen deal with them fairly decently, but it's still an option and completely removes the possibility of making Heimdall units. Now, Rapl here would have loved. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Would have loved to click this here. He totally could have. Why didn't he undermine this? He had the spy. He could have undermined it. He could have denied this Migdol for just that little bit longer. So I'm not sure what Rapl's plan is with undermine here. And that confuses me a lot because it seems as if that would have been the only play here. We see a hill fort coming up right now for Rapl as the booming has commenced. Town center grab here from Ulysses. Does he have himself down a market just yet? No market here. How are the economic upgrades? Probably only has pickaxe here. He does have some berries that he might want to jump onto over here as well. This game is continuing and tensions are rising here. And the chariot archers wandering in. Hill fort pushing the chariot archers back. Scorpion man running around causing some chaos. Heimdall says, "G'day, get out of here. I'm going to whack you and potentially get picked off." And Rapl with all of his unupgraded Ursa. They feel so weak at 4.62 speed here as the Scorpion Man can just wander through Rapl's base and there's next to nothing he can do about it. Starting to see some Jarls getting built. What? I don't understand. He's building Jarls and he went Bragi. Just go Njord. Get Ringgiver. Shake my head. Now the Scorpion Man gets out of here. We've got the Chariot Archers hanging back. Trying to find some sort of advantage here. I think Ulysses here, I think maybe this town center was a slight misplay. I think he would have had a lot more advantage just going straight to the Mythic Age to Osiris than anything else. And then putting a big push onto this gold mine here could have been pretty game-ending, but this gives Rapl all the time in the world to get his economy sorted. Norse economy does hard beat the Egyptian economy, especially Isis, as opposed to like the Ra raining or the set animal eating, if he chooses to do that. So we see the units coming back in for Rapl. The Sphinx moving forward here as we might see that first fight starting. There's a lot of these throwing axemen here. It's going to have to be a very, very well microed fight from Rapl if he wants to win this one. He doesn't have any of those Huskal out just yet to deal with the Chariot Archers or tank them down. We see an Undermine getting thrown down somewhere. Where did he throw the Undermine down? Oh, onto the town center. So he gets a little bit of damage done. Flaming Weapons comes in. The Battle Ball here, moving forward, wants to start taking that down. The Undermine only does like 650 damage onto a town center. It's next to nothing. As the army just keeps pushing forward, Rapl with lots of population in the bank. Ulysses 113 of 136 here. As the priests are coming in, do they have funeral rites is the question. They do not. They are cheap, and we see Antis' Eclipse being forced here as Ulysses has to defend this somehow, some way. The Herser turn around, and with Flaming Weapons and Herser, and these minions will die incredibly fast, give Rapl such an advantage here. And right now he doesn't have population. As soon as that drops, he's going to get so many myth unit spawns here. As one Einhir does pop mini flaming weapons here from the Einhir, helping these Herser even more. Town center does end up falling as this timing attack from Rapl has been absolutely devastating to Ulysses, and Ulysses in a world of pain right now. 97 of 118 population. Rapl may be over pushing here. He no longer has his flaming weapons. The Chariot Archers are very strong in this position. Rapl could just pull back a little bit, start thinking about getting himself maybe some Huskal out instead of just Herser throwing Axeman Jarl, as the Huskal are starting to get built, and maybe even a town center here and consolidate this position after no more Antis' Eclipse. We see some of those siege towers coming out here, as well as Rapl retreating away. And now Ulysses has to figure out how he's going to slow down the Norse. Because right now, Rapl 2 town centers, got some good farms up. The big problem with Bragi and Njord over Skadi, obviously Loki doesn't have that, but to put it into perspective, the big problem with Loki and not having Skadi is that the farms are so slow. Even at irrigation, they are so slow. You need to go up to something like 40 farms to maintain any decent amount of food production for caravans, for Hersa. But this style here from Rapl, maybe he doesn't need that because he can go full wood units here at the moment. And he is making those Huskar. They are going to be huge. And we'll see how that's going to go. Now the siege towers pushing in. We got some Einjar swinging around the back. These priests here, still no funeral rites. Basically tickling the battle boar here. Funnily enough, you actually don't want the battle boar to attack these chariot archers when your Huskar are on them. As we see the siege towers going after the hill fort. This siege tower here needs to get taken out as quickly as it possibly can. Do not want to be losing that hill fort right now. If you are Rapl, one of the most difficult situations a Norse can be in is having no hill forts against an Egyptian player. And a lot of the time it's better to throw double hill fort up as well, but not happening here for Rapl. He's held on to his hill fort for the time being. And he's even going to try and repair that one back up as he's pulling back. Rapl now looking as if he's either gearing up to go to the Mythic Age or he's saving his food for something big here. He's getting himself medium raiders, just making sure he can hold that one. I'd like to see if he's getting medium raiders. I'd like to see him get the medium infantry as well. We see a perfectly placed market here. Take notes, Matrius. This is where the market goes. Rapl not leaving this game up to chance here with his gold income, that's for sure. There's the medium cavalry coming through. The raiding cavalry going to be able to take a lot of damage onto those siege towers here as the units pushing in, taking down the chariot archers. The battle boar does end up getting taken down. Still no funeral rites. It is the big advantage of Isis in this matchup against Loki, and it's just not happening just yet. The Pharaoh out of position as well, and now with the Huskar, we do need to see Ulysses here somehow, some way, getting his economy into gear, getting those farms down. He does have himself plow, but no irrigation, no sacred cats is also another big boost here for the food economy. So those axemen are going to be very slow to get going. And Rapl throwing down all of these longhouses, and this is scary. This is scary for Rapl because he's out of gold. He can't go to this gold mine. He's going to try and sneak this one in the middle or move down to these corner golds here, which are both very safe. But he can't go to this gold, so he's going to have to pull back and just allow Ulysses a little bit of the map here. Not going to be starting himself the trade route just yet, though I think maybe starting the trade route now wouldn't be a bad idea. And we do see Ulysses now going to grab himself his own third town center as we see Rapl swinging around here saying, hi, I want to kill your town center. 2 battle boar, bunch of raiding cavalry. We've got the medium Huskar here as well. Unfortunately for Rapl, he didn't send his battle boar in first, so he's going to lose a couple of raiding cavalry here. The villagers attempting to repair this one back up, but even with the chariot archers here, you can simply just pull your Huskar off of this. He's got 5 of them and target down the chariot archers. Nice micro here from Rapl trying to distract for a little bit. The villagers are all getting onto this position here, and it does look like when those villagers get on, Rapl decides time to run. But still, I feel like he could have taken it down. It just depends on how much he wanted to trade for it. And the priests getting the damage done, and Rapl just, well, he's able to advance now. Just go and help. Okay. Rapl is just making no sense in this game. First things first, he goes Heimdall. And he doesn't use Undermine on the Migdal. Second thing second, he goes Bragi and not Njord here. For no big timing push. He did hit a timing push with his flame weapon, so that makes sense. But now he goes Hell. What is the purpose of Hell? Nidhogg is strong, but your opponent has got priests with funeral rites, probably, by that time. Still not research, but Nidhogg's not going to be that good. Your opponent's going to have mummies at some point, so Fire Giant's not that good. So why not tier? Hit the economy hard. Get yourself access to Berserker Gang. Super old sucks for the late game. Buildings everywhere. To get full access to the safeguard. I'm confused. I do not understand. Maybe Rapl will show us the way here. I see the chariot archers sneaking in here, going to try and deny this town center, and they very well will be doing that. But the medium raiders are swinging around here, going to be able to take these down. That Ulysses runs for his life. He does get away from here. One chariot archer does get picked off. And look at this. Ulysses is going to see this ox cart and immediately target that one down. And that's so annoying as a Loki player. For some reason, Loki's benefit is weaker ox carts. Unique bonus for Loki. It's just too strong giving Loki the cheaper ox cart. Gotta take the cheaper ox cart and make it a weaker cheaper ox cart. That's one of the, if I had my hands on the balance patch, that's one of the changes I would make immediately. No longer a weaker ox cart for Loki. Guarantee you, it would see very little downside. Anyways, the fire giant is out. The priest doing the damage. Scorpion Man in on this fight. We've got the heavy raiders, excuse me. The Nidhogg comes in onto this position. Slowly but surely going to take, look at 3 damage onto the Pharaoh. That Pharaoh is absolutely shredding the Nidhogg. 1 Pharaoh against the Nidhogg. 600 damage done. That's ridiculous right there. As Rapl must be kicking himself not going through tier here in this game. Town Center almost up here for Rapl, as it is up. Fortified Town Centers is through. Rappel's got himself a whole bunch of military buildings down. Actually, he really doesn't. He's only got 4 military buildings down at this point. He's starting to make himself trade. And this game is potentially going late here. We might be seeing some sort of a late game here. Norse versus Egyptian, with Rapl hitting the late game first. As we see Osiris coming through, the market is up, but it's on the weak side. Market's set up over here. Now, this is not how you set up markets. On the corner of the map. Just here. Now we see the Migdol getting taken out. The raiding cavalry hitting this Migdol nice and hard. Fire giant helping it out and taking the middle of the map is going to be very, very important. So there we go. Some side builds here for Rapl not being spotted by Ulysses. Ulysses doesn't look like he's gotten himself his signal fires just yet. So it's nice and early. A nice play here from Rapl to get those set up. Cause a little bit of chaos in the back line of Ulysses. Rapl, on the other hand, he's got his walls all set up. Can start setting up more walls, start putting more military buildings down, enjoying the game, get himself more upgrades. Champion cavalry can come through soon. It is indeed coming through. Osiris does end up getting researched. The raiders are making their way straight onto this gold mine, and it looks like Ulysses has not made any effort to retreat here. He will come through the back here. There is a cheeky escape route here for these villagers, and now instead of going after those, he's going to go after the camel caravans. A smart play to be hitting those, hitting that economy. Very nice here from Rapl. Ulysses still trying to get himself sorted. He's got himself out his mummy. He's got himself out his son of Osiris. Where's the Nidhogg gone? Did the Nidhogg fall? Nidhogg's flying over here looking for something to raid right now. As the Scorpion Men come through. We'll start dealing with these champion raiders now very nicely. So trying to retreat back. We've got the double layers of walls now getting set up by Ulysses, but Rapl is already in on this position. We see some towers getting thrown down, and they still don't... Where's the safeguard? Rapl, what's the point in Heimdall, my dude? These cost too much. Stop spending... No, don't get rampage. Don't get... Get safeguard! I'm so sad. Nidhogg now coming over here is just basically scouting right now for Rapl. Raiders coming in here, gonna say g'day. Some Herser, Ulfsark's getting built here, not doing all too much. Villagers will come in and take the tower down. Rappel's got enough resources for he's still not getting safeguard. I was so hyped for the late game Heimdall. Alas, just wasn't meant to be. Rapl was not the player to make it happen. Not the player at all. So we see some walls now coming down for Rapl. Son of Osiris coming through for Ulysses. Is just going to start defending this position. Rapl has done this before. He loves the Ballista. The Ballista do have Burning Pitch, but Burning Pitch only gives +1 crush damage. It's not that big of a deal. It is equal to 3 crush damage if you think about it, because the Ballista shoot 3 projectiles, so +1 crush damage equals that. Do we have Safeguard yet? No Safeguard. Fire Giants are coming through, but they're kind of useless against these Priests. Priests do finally have that funeral rites in. Meanwhile, more chaos on this position will be huge. And with the help of the Nidhogg here as well, you might be able to get set up on this position. Does he have any upgrades on these Ulysses? No, he does not. He's simply just building Fire Giant. Building Fire Giant that are going to get taken down. You see the Son of Osiris here getting targeted down by the Ballista. Dude does so much damage to that Son of Osiris. Son of Osiris does get Garrison there, surviving with 42 HP here. Very, very nice play to pick off that Son of Osiris, and does end up falling there as more towers coming up. Still no safeguard, so I'm still sad. Rapl's in the chat saying he misclicked Heimdall, and everything I was saying about it actually being like not a bad idea goes down the toilet. What can you do? Anyways, big problem now for Ulysses is that Ballista Fire Giant are a real threat. I said it way back when. The late game of Norse with Ballista Fire Giant towers, if set up on a position, is unbreakable. Unbreakable. And right now we are seeing that in the flesh. Fire Giant towers aren't set up just yet, so there is a way to push through back at this point, but it's just not going to happen. Town Center falls. Rapl with the advantage right now. Ulysses 2 town centers to Rapl's 3 town centers. And Rapl leaving an S+ tier relic on the ground here. That's 6 population, man. That's worth grabbing. Still putting pressure over here. We see the villagers trying to take these longhouses down, but there is this wall over here, and Rapl could sneak in on this position here and get some barracks here, pushing around onto this location, come down the back here, put barracks. He's got a cursor already over here, so he's ready to do that. There's so much room for late game shenanigans with Norse that isn't possible for the other civilization. It's a big advantage of the late game Norse. And we're seeing Rapl do that just a little bit here. And now it is a matter of time here. Ulysses does have the Egyptian ability to spam mercenaries and try and take this town center back. So this game is not over, but Rapl, he just needs to secure this location. We see hill forts going up, we see temple coming up, we see longhouses, we see buildings coming up. This is perfect. Do not go for the town center first. This is a mistake of many players from many years. Town center first is wrong. Even I made this mistake. I think I made it in the recent MetaPlays tournament. But towers go up first, and then you're golden. If you don't put the towers up, your opponent can just keep trading in here, and you might not be able to ever get that town center up. But we do see a tower up. Still without safeguard. I'm still mad. And I don't think Rapl, has Rapl gotten himself, well, he's not going off Sark, so he won't get Swine Array. He didn't go, yeah, whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Catapult's coming out of this position for Ulysses. He wants to try and push back. Still seeing some, where'd that Herso go? They are seeing an attempt at getting some longhouse over here. There's a stray champion Ulfsark just chilling here. Armory upgrades here. Nearly full upgrades for Rapl, just missing a couple of those last upgrades, and decent upgrades for Ulysses, as well as we see the settlement getting built. The raiding cavalry pushing forward. The Ulfsark doing their best here. Catapult's getting taken down. Some more units streaming in onto this position. Going to try and get this watchtower up. We see the mummy taking out a couple of these units here. Very nice. But immediately Rapl sees that mummy. Going to be chasing him around. But with the slow... Oh, we've got boiling oil actually coming in clutch there. The slow Hersa not able to pick that one off. He just used his special. Click on it. Click on it. Click on it. You just have to accept... Wait, okay, so The Fire Giant versus Mummy matchup, you just have to accept that the Mummy is going to be able to pick off one of them, and you just click on it, and you try and get as much damage done with the Fire Giant as possibly can. And Ulysses taps out. GG! Well played, Mr. Rapl. Very, very well played here. Taking a map that is incredibly bad for Loki and making it into a good one. Even if he didn't intend to click Heimdall, the pressure of Heimdall, the fake Heimdall, is enough to force Ulysses into a bit of chaos. And then very strong timing attack here. As I thought that maybe it would have been better for Ulysses to stay one town center and go mythic here, which would have been very, very tough for Rapl to defend against. The idea is that you can get Mythic Age off of the herdables here, cast Prosperity, and then get your farms up and be in a good position to push with Axeman, Son of Osiris, Chariot Archer, and Siege. Very, very tough for a Loki to defend against that without the Baluster, but Ulysses getting his early second town center, committing to the heroic age a bit with the low food income. Very tough for him to really do anything with it. And Rapl took advantage where he could. However, we get the latest safeguard possible. Look at how cheap these towers are. 150 wood, 75 gold. My golly gosh. And they don't build faster, do they? No. They don't build faster. They do get more hit points. 1320 HP versus a standard watchtower here with masons. It's a standard watchtower. It's 550 HP. So that's a huge amount. Safeguard is huge. I think Heimdall's super underappreciated. If the map looks like a late game map, Norse players should consider Heimdall, especially Odin. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. If you're on the hit the follow button if you're on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. I don't know what I'm saying. See ya.